Well, I don't know what to. I part of me wants to wait until there's somebody here because then they can hear what I want to express. And I don't know with what I want to express though. I don't know with the specific example if I'm asking a question or just saying that this is what I would do um, or not. But basically, first of all, I will address the topic um, and this is just like it's actually a big scarf thing. I will address the topic of, but it works to kind of, it's like a shot, like a, almost like a poncho thing. Anywho, I will briefly discuss. I'm not entirely sure in what ways, but sarcasm on the spectrum. I think, or just in general, and spectrum of anything, but I'm especially thinking autism. Um, sure, there are a lot of commonalities, but I don't think we should ever say, well, if somebody has autism, they're going to struggle with this and they're going to struggle with this, such as sarcasm. Because if the person with autism is on the higher functioning side of things and they happen to have a sense of humor, which might include sarcasm, then they're more used to it. Or if they just have a lot of people that make sarcastic, not necessarily intending to be rude, but sarcastic comments. Um, you know, I would, I guess, find it kind of hard to hear about someone who may be receiving people being sarcastic in not nice ways, um, as um, just them saying, oh, it's my autism, so I must be misunderstood. I must be misreading it or whatever. If it's not nice, it's not nice. Um, and I think that's just hopefully obvious. Um, but I've never understood that one because I can be fairly sarcastic. I've never understood the connection with some people are a little just harder to get or understand, sarcastic or not. So, um, but why I thought to do this quick video. I have a bit of time, but the morning's going fast, and again, I thought I might. Yeah. Anyway, why I'm thinking to do this quick video is because I look like I'm going to have to take the bus, and it's a rainy day, so the regular bus. I mean, there's a just it's a sure. Sometimes disabled people ride it, or see elderly. Usually, there's just one or two people on at a time. It's open to anybody, though. I think really, and I just prefer it because it's faster. That's really. I mean, you don't have to wait around at a bus stop. You can just say this is where I want it when I want it. You can't book a lot ahead of time. But like last night when I called, I was not able to. Even though I reached somebody on that in that department, I was not able to book for today. But and you get it right where you want it, and it drops you off right where you want it, pretty much. I mean, it's not a perfect system, but it's better than the regular, I would say. Plus, like I say, the regular is bigger and there'll be more people on it. And that was going to chair. That's good. And with the kind of raininess out there, and yickiness, um, people, will probably be busier on that one. I didn't think to contact my one. I had a few options that weren't available. Uh, two or three, and then I didn't think to contact the other one until about 15 minutes ago. So I don't know if she's going to notice in time, but we can hope. But basically, I might end up having to order this bus. And the stupid thing about it is that it finishes about 30, 40 ish minutes before rush hour is likely to start, which is when I got home the other day, but it was on bike. But I'm going to have too much stuff to carry, and it's raining. So, have you ever seen anybody bike with an umbrella, by the way? Just curious. Like, yeah, you. I'm just kidding. No, I have not done that. It's not the easiest thing, I would imagine. But I need ease. But anywho, and I touched a little bit about that in the previous video. You know, where some of the thing, you know, where some of my needs in life. But anyway, basically, basically in this video, I just wanted to say, so like, I'm thinking of calling, I hope I'm not jinxing things, but whatever. Thinking of calling, saying this is when I need it, where I'm going. I'm only going to be for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I need it back. And I realized that they stopped running at 2:15. Uh, and um, when I was thinking about this conversation in my head, I think I had said that I don't have a cell phone. Um, and I felt like, but I feel like there was another part to it. But I felt like the person on the other end, although the guy I talked to last night was great, and made a suggestion, which, I don't know why they have to do it that way, but it was helpful to suggest because they do, I guess, and would hopefully work. But I thought of, what if they say, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. One, that's not trying very well. That's not giving good customer service. And I'd be tempted to say, well, sometimes I say, okay, thanks anyway. But really, I should say, I shouldn't have to, and everybody, expresses how they do. But, we shouldn't have to, modernize people or tell them how to give good customer service, it feels like. But there's a part of me that, maybe instead of, oh, uh, thanks anyway, or just, okay, thanks, or, or whatever, which I guess, there's also tone, which I think most people would understand. But, I don't, it's one of those things where I don't want to not be able to use the service because they feel like I disrespected it, you know. But what I could say, so this might not be a great example, but it's the one that came to mind this morning. What I could say is, well, you could suggest what the guy last night suggested. I mean, I'm calling just to book this and feel like I want to kind of express, myself again in this way because, I feel like I should, basically. But basically, yeah, I don't know. I could just say, like, certainly you can put yourself in my shoes and understand, you know, the predicament, the fact that this bus stops running so early into the afternoon, and why some people prefer this particular option. And also, I don't know if I should ask at some point, why is there somebody at the call center under that specific department, I guess just to answer questions? Like, I called to ask how late are they running tomorrow, because I thought this might be the case. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. But yeah, so I'm thinking that I might, yeah. So then, and just so you can hopefully understand uh, the you know yeah, and just kind of, make sure that it's put in place the way it needs to be put in place. It's not asking much, you know, something like that. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not delving more into this topic. I do try and when I do videos, stay on topic. Happy to receive the chats, and things can kind of feed into other topics. So maybe sometimes we'll have done all we could with one topic, so we go on to another one. Um, or the ADHD sometimes comes in, but you know, um, the topic is the topic. I mean, yeah, I do and don't just do the titles just to spark people's curiosity. I do try and stay. I do try and at least somewhat, be on, do them. But I don't know if there's anything else to say about this. I mean, I said a few things. It's only been 11 minutes, but or a little over that. But I don't know what else to say. Um, One thing that I would say helps, because I do and don't agree. Maybe it's just the way I read and the way I think and the way I process and the way I am curious sometimes. But I do and don't think that written communication is that much uh, harder to like that it can bring up some difficulties, but I mostly don't think so. I guess I would say, uh, like for instance, I've seen people say funny things sometimes, even not even specifically to me, but just posts that I'm seeing or whatever, or comments, and you know, I can kind of tell that they're being funny or sarcastic, whichever, but then they don't say "LOL" or "just kidding," and I guess my mind often thinks one or two things. One, are they being serious then? Or two, why didn't they put that? I mean, maybe they think it's obvious. I don't know. But why didn't they put LOL or JK? Wouldn't have taken them very long. But I do find that when they do, well, you're more likely know then. I want to say also, though, that caps does not necessarily mean shouting. It can mean emphasizing. And you have to look at the contents and you have to think, I mean, we can never know what, well, you know, some people would say, well, how am I to know whether it's right? And don't really know this person or whatever. Um, I mean, well, if it's the case of this and say like there's something in the title or a comment, am I seeming angry? Am I, maybe I'm a little frustrated or talking passionately, but am I seeming angry? Is somebody else, if you're hearing them, is what's being said? Do you really think it would be, or could it just be emphasizing? Anywho, um, I'm curious if anybody has any ideas for future videos about autism. Because, yeah, for some reason, my mind did kind of connect the two. Because people do. I guess that's why. Even if I don't necessarily. But then also, just like I say, sarcasm in general, or sarcasm as you may call it. See, was that sarcasm or was that just being a. I guess it's how do you define sarcasm? Because part of me thinks sarcasm is when you're like it's a personal kind of poke, but it's not done to be mean. It's just done goofy. Sometimes I think it's a way to express annoyance or something like that. Um, and sometimes you really just have to say hint sarcasm or JK, you know. Just some thoughts. Just some thoughts. Um, Another topic I'd like to talk about in the future. Maybe not a lot now. I'm kind of looking into some ideas, and I'm not really sure how to bring it up. but is when you're feeling fatigued, and not necessarily because of a very hectic life, work, etc. Um, Perhaps because of the opposite. Does anybody relate to this? I know that there will be people that do, but anybody watching this that does in some way? Because I think that that's important to address. What to do, um, how to understand it. So yeah. Okay. Well, it's here. I think I'm going to wrap up now. So take care and be kind to each other. Be empathetic and try and help people when you can. Goes around, comes around, and enjoy your day.